Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 4, which I'm titling the Transgender Declaration of Independence. I know it's been a little while since I posted my last video update, but I wanted to give you guys, kind of the spiel about what's going on. So I've been going through some mild voice coaching, obviously trying to get my voice closer to where, well, I would like it to be. It probably sounds a little bit better to everybody else. I'm now just shy of a year into my open transition, and about a week or two short of 6 months into my hormone therapy and my mental therapy. So I do want to emphasize that yes, I do actually speak to a licensed therapist. It's not that I'm overly anxious or depressed or anything of that particular nature. I just think it's a good idea to have someone outside of the family dynamic to speak to that's also a professional. So, and it's helped greatly, and I know some of you already know that I'm military, and I definitely want to express that no, I do not speak to anyone in military mental health, because just no, it's pointless. Like talking to a brick wall. Only difference is I kind of think that I'd get better answers from the brick wall. So we're not going to go there. But on to the video. Since you've got some updates that, I kind of want to preface the whole thing with I've probably spent about 25 years, at least, listening to others go on about transgender issues. I've listened to almost every point of view that I can think or imagine on that very subject. All sides have interesting and valid points. And I'm not necessarily making this a political thing, because honestly, politics has nothing to do with it. I'm a very apolitical person. Just about every one of my followers knows that I am libertarian, so I don't really care for the Republican Party, and I don't really care for the Democratic Party. They're both evil, and they're both criminal syndicates. So, we're not even going to go there. We'll save that for another video. But I think that all sides of the discussion around transgender people and transgender issues do have valid points. I'll make that statement. And I also think that both sides can make ridiculous and borderline stupid assumptions and accusations, some of which I'm going to discuss today in the Transgender Declaration of Independence. For those of you that kind of decided you wanted to join me on this journey and see where things are going, I want to convey as best as I can about what being, not becoming, being a woman is to me and why. Now, I think that this Declaration of Independence can be used for anybody who's transgender, but for the purposes of my video, being trans feminine, I'm going to probably make it sound more about being trans feminine, but I think it's synonymous across the transgender spectrum. So I want to share with you today what I've already experienced, what I've heard, what people have said to me, the good and the bad, but unfortunately mostly the bad. Number one, I am not pretending to be a woman. So stop telling me that I am. No transgendered person is pretending to be the other gender. This isn't some game of make-believe. I'm not a little child that needs to be told, quit playing with girls' toys. This isn't a phase that I'm going to grow out of. I'm over 40 years old. Growing out of anything is pretty much long past for me. And I think it's pretty much the same for younger people who have identified as transgender. I don't care if they're 10 or 19 or 30 or over 40. If you're trans, you're trans. I knew something was different about me by the time I was 10 years old. I was ridiculed for it relentlessly by friends at school, even family. So I buried it and I hid it for the benefit of others. and much to the detriment of myself. I'm not some pervert who dresses up like a girl just so I can use the women's room. I would make, if you took every transgendered person, self-identified or closeted on the entire planet, and put them in a room and said, one of you has to be a pervert who's preying on women, I would guarantee that none of them actually are. We live in a society today where men refuse to wear pink and won't eat anything with soy in it because their fear of being emasculated. Do you really think that one of those dudes, those toxic masculine assholes, is going to go in there and grow long hair and dress in a girl's dress just to go in a women's room and assault another woman or a child or anybody? No, that's retarded. It's absolutely retarded. If someone's going to go through this entire effort because they believe they're transgendered, why would they hurt someone that they assume is the same sex? I mean, unless you're just a psychopath, and then it has nothing to do with being transgendered. It means you're a fucking psychopath. It's a bathroom, people. Get the fuck over it. And I always was a woman. I want to really emphasize that. I was always a woman. I'm not becoming a woman. I am a woman. I've lived a fake life for 32 out of my 41 years of existence on this planet. And I don't want to do it anymore. Number 2, stop telling me that I'm never going to be a real woman. Captain Obvious. Like, duh. I don't have any delusions that I'm biologically a female. I know that I don't have a uterus. I know that I can't bear children. But I also need you to understand that those are extremely painful subjects for me. It is actually very sad and extremely depressing to me that I will never get to experience such things. However, once again, I am and always was a woman. Period. Number 3, I don't ask anybody to pretend with me because I'm not pretending. So I'm not asking any of you to pretend with me either. All I have ever expected from anybody is just a tiny amount of respect. Like, that's it. I can't imagine having to do with anything else. I just want some decency, human decency. If I politely correct somebody, I'm not trying to be an asshole about it. I'm not trying to be up in anyone's face about it either. I've never gotten mad at anybody who has misgendered me or calls me by my wrong dead name. I just politely ask them to please use the correct gendered terms and my name. I don't think that's asking you to pretend. I don't think that's asking you to just change your entire life or your perspective. I hear a lot of the right-leaning pundits who I actually enjoy watching. I enjoy watching Crowder. Sometimes he makes very valid points. I enjoy watching some of these other folks, but it really does grind me hard when they make these just stupid assumptions about what trans people are or what it means. They're ignorant. And if they're not ignorant because they know better, then they're vicious and mean and stupid. And I don't really want to give them a whole lot of credence. I'm not asking you to change your life. I'm asking you politely. It's Miss. Or Doctor. Doctor works too. I have one of those. It's ma'am, not sir. It's Brandy, not any other name. And that's all I ever ask you. That's not asking other people to just pretend along with me. It doesn't work that way. And it never has. But if you decide that you want to be a jerk, or insensitive, or whatever, and misgender me or call me by my dead name out of spite after I've politely asked you to please stop doing that, because you think it's your right and it's freedom of speech, well, then I don't want you to be angry at me when I merely address you as asshole from that point forward. Because you know what? It's my right and it's freedom of speech. Number 4. And this is one of the things I've been told a lot, particularly at the beginning and even now. But you don't look like a woman. You have to wear makeup. And you definitely don't sound like a woman. No shit, Sherlock. It is a process. I have to reverse 32 years of testosterone, bad eating habits, being a fat ass, deep voices, and hair growth. That doesn't happen overnight. It takes years of hormones, and generally surgery of some kind, and voice coaching and training. Every day I wake up, I look in the mirror, and I cry. Every day. I cry because I'm not presenting as my true self. I don't need the negative comments, the stupid statements, the dumbass questions, and everything else that you people like to throw our way to add to the reasons I cry every day. Regardless of how true they are, trust me, I'm already aware. I don't need you to point them out to me. Thank you. I've also heard this lots of times. I've heard it on the news. I've heard it on all the talking heads. I've heard it on Fox. Hell, I've even heard it on CNN. So don't be surprised. It's not a political thing. It's literally there's a lot of ignorant people in this world. And they make statements like, well, I don't think the medical sciences and hospitals and healthcare systems should be wasting time and insurance money on surgeries or procedures to turn men into women or women into men just so they can pretend that there's something that they're not. Well, okay. I guess it's okay for a 55-year-old man who had his balls crushed in a car accident to have complete reconstructive surgery and testicle transplants, along with 5-year supply of Viagra paid for by your insurance and sometimes your tax dollars, at the expense of hundreds of hours of medical practice from doctors. You know, on the off chance that old fart wants to keep having kids after 55. But holy shit, stop the presses when I want mine cut off because I think it's gross and I don't want it there and it doesn't belong. Sure, that makes sense. Number 6. This is another one I've heard before. You know, I do occasionally get very good with my makeup. I dress in the gender that I want to be. And I've heard this plenty of times when they find out that I'm not a biological female. Like, oh my God, he looks better with makeup and in that dress than I do. It's not fair that all these perverted men just walk around looking better than some women. And I think it's extremely disrespectful to all women, in my opinion. Well, sorry I'm hot, Karen. Go fuck yourself. Beauty comes from the soul, not from the body. Try not being a self-centered piece of garbage for a little while. My being a woman is not disrespectful to other women. I fully respect all women and the many things that they have to endure in their lives above and beyond what the average dude does. So much so that it's all I've ever wanted for my entire life. Another one I hear a lot, particularly from people in the South, and don't make my mistakes, I hear this from people in the North as well. It's one that's probably the easiest to refute out of everything. But I've been told so many times, God created you and you defile him by doing this because God doesn't make mistakes. Well, let me let you in on a little secret. Religion has absolutely nothing to do with this or anyone who is transgendered. Nothing. And I don't want to hear it. But I will let everybody know I love God. I'm not a super religious person, but I'm definitely a faithful person. And I believe in the deepest part of my being that God made my soul, and everybody else's too. And he made it perfectly. Nature made my body. It definitely made it the way it is. Along with my biological parents, of course. They actually have a say in what you turn into. Well, I'm afraid to tell everyone out there, nature does make mistakes. All of the time. That's why there's disease. It's not God. God has nothing to do with it. That's why there's birth defects. Sometimes it's, caused by the parents, but biologically speaking, it's imperfect. There's lots of things that nature does that is imperfect, that God has nothing to do with. My body, your body included. I do believe that God made my soul just the way it is, just the way you see me presenting right now, free to be anything that I want, but nature put me in the wrong fucking body. The thing I want to convey to all those that decided to be a part of this journey with me, and even a few people that decided not to, trust me, they outnumber the people that did, is that this was not some quick decision that I made irrationally. Working with my therapist and my coaches, I realized I knew what I was when I was around 9 or 10. I covered it all up for fear of others' hate, their ridicule, and making them uncomfortable. I spent nearly 40 years living, working, and existing as something I wasn't, mostly out of fear. So for anyone out there who's watching this right now, you don't have to be afraid. People are going to be angry. People are going to be shitty. People are going to torment you, and they're going to do all kinds of things to make you feel less of a person or uncomfortable in general. And the best thing you can do is to find a good support group, family, friends, other transgendered people, whatever you can, and ignore or tune out all of the awful things that you're going to hear. You don't have to be afraid. You never have to be afraid. Practice your voice, change your pitch, whatever you want to do. Do it openly, do it in the room, do it in a closet, whatever. Be yourself. You don't have to be afraid. I want everyone to know that you don't have to be afraid to be who you actually are. I also want to make everyone understand very quickly, and this may just apply to me, I'm not saying it applies to everyone in the transgender spectrum, but I find the terms tranny, she-male, he-she, trap, soy boy, sissy, and other translated terms like that to be, well, disgusting. Or at least too porn-related. Is it only jerks or chasers use terms like that? I am not in porn. I don't want to top anybody. I'm not particularly keen on the idea of other people trying to top me. So I prefer not to be referred by those things. They're disgusting. I'm a woman, plain and simple. For now, maybe trans woman. I'm perfectly fine with that. But one day, just woman. I have beautiful children who make me very happy. I've obtained all the way up to an advanced postgraduate degree. I served my country for 20 years with several combat tours and several humanitarian tours as well. I've been the pillar of many communities. I've ran for public office a couple of times, owned and sold a company, and then owned and run another one. So I have a loving wife who's been there for me through this entire thing. And she supports me. I don't think I could ever ask for more. So when I say that this was not a decision made light, I mean it. My life wasn't bad. In fact, I had a pretty great life. No matter what, though, there was always something missing, a hole in my being that made me miserable. It made me physically hurt. And I finally hit a point in my life where I was done waiting and could not live or love my life as a fake person any longer. I know that there's probably hundreds, if not thousands of you out there right now who are feeling the exact same way. So it is my hope that this information clears things up for a lot of people and gives them the tools needed to ask better questions of me. I also hope it gives you insight into who I am and why this is happening now. So, until the next episode, y'all stay safe and be your true selves. This is Brandy with Trans Confessions.